Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday morning now. I think you've been watching videos. You've seen a whole bunch of people do Motoramas. So obviously I'm back in the office today. So I decided to do that second video in the series I told you I would do yesterday. And that's really just a conversation a little bit about what's it like at Motorama. What's it like to be like on the other side of the lens in these car shows. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot good, and I learned a lot kind of weird, and I learned a little bit bad. So I really do believe anytime you can pick up lessons learned and do things, learn how to do things better, it's actually a win. So I think that's the story overall, is it was a good weekend. It was really tiring, and it's really surprising how hard these people work to do what you see on the other side of the lens as a subscriber. And so that was really kind of the first thing I wanted to talk about, was when you see some of these YouTubers who seem to make it so easy. Really, it's Mike, Nick, Troy, Shane. The thing I wanted to say behind the lens was how hard they work. You know, and I'll call Mike out in particular first. I mean, I think he got to the booth around 10 o'clock, and I think from 10 to 5, he never left. He shook hands, signed autographs, sold merch, took photos with people, little kids, teenagers, older folks. I mean, that's what he did all day long. He really didn't take a break. I was a little bit shocked, totally impressed, and a little bit shocked at how hard he works. Same with Nick, there all day. The event organizers kind of messed a few things up. We'll talk about that in a minute. But overall, these guys work crazy hard. I was really totally impressed with how much work they put into setting up, how much time they spent FaceTime, and then how much work it is to clean it up and get it out of there and take it home. The other thing I want to say is these guys are much nicer than you would think. I mean, much nicer than I would think. I guess I shouldn't put it on you, but I mean, they want to see their family. They want to see their subscribers. They want to see the people who've made them where they are. And it's legit. They're not putting on a show for you or for the person that's standing in front of them. They legitly, when you talk to them off camera at the end of the day, they are totally excited about meeting people, and it really is a give back. It is a subscriber appreciation or a community appreciation event to them, and it's from their heart. I don't think they're doing it because they have to, because there are a lot that don't. So for the Mikes, Nicks, Troys, Shanes, I mean, they're really there to be social, and it was very impressive to see that. So as always, I have my list. So the other thing I thought was kind of surprising to me was Motorama was the car show, the car room that you saw in the videos, that you see in everybody's videos, really wasn't the main event. The main event was a dirt bike race and an ATV race, and I think the car show was meant as almost an appendix to that, and a kind of a filler. Like if you are here for the races and you want to do something in between, you go see the cars. If your kids are racing, a lot of the kids were racing, and so parents and kids needed something to do, because they would have races at 8 and then at noon, and what do you do in between? You come through and see the cars. I didn't get the impression a lot of people came to Motorama to be in this room and see these cars. I didn't get that sense much at all. I could be totally wrong, but just from being in the room all those hours, it just kind of told me that we were an appendix. You know, we were an afterthought. We were a time filler. We weren't the main event. We weren't why people were there. That caught me a little off guard. I didn't expect that. The other thing is, it really the show organizers really kind of messed up Shane's booth. It was hard to have a presence. He had like almost, I want to say close to 15 cars there. I should count them up, but they were in one long line, and it was really almost impossible for Shane to create any sense of space. If you were there, you see these other videos. Westies and Gentners were two that did it really. I mean, they were in great space. They were more rectangles or squares with their tents in the middle, and all their work and showcraft kind of around their tent. It was they were pretty impressive sights. So I felt bad for Shane, but he did a nice job. He had a double wide booth, and a lot of people came, and it was to see Mike and Troy and Shane, and it was kind of fun to see. But it was just a bit of a shock to me to see how an event organizer can mess up someone's presence so badly, particularly when he's had so many cars and been there so many years in a row. So a couple things I learned about being at the event is I went to build a presence, build a marketing, build up maybe see how many people we could get to the channel and all that. And what I would say is, from my one experience, is that it's really the other way around. You build a market, you build a presence, you build a brand, you build a following, and then you hold these events to do what Mike did and to do what Nick did, and that is kind of say thank you and show appreciation for it. Or you have to go all the way and get your own booth and make your own presence and put up your own tent and your own merch and really be out there as a real force, as a real physical, visual presence that people will kind of in the moment say, wow, look at this, I want to be a part of it, and subscribe to you either on the spot or as they're driving home. I think it's a little bit folly if you're a new YouTuber, say you're going to go to a whole bunch of physical events and walk around and generate a lot of subscribers. Again, you're talking to a guy with less than 6,000 subs, so maybe somebody with 500,000 will tell you I'm totally wrong. But I didn't sense a lot of people were there to pick up new things. They were kind of there wandering through. The other thing I would suggest is, and one thing that I learned is, if I'm going to do this again, and I don't know if I am or not yet, we'll have to see, it's still cooking, but what I would want to do is I'd want to go and put a booth out in a car show where people are there because of the car show. They were buying tickets, scheduling their time, and coming to the event because they want to see cars. They want to see what we're offering, not as an appendix to some other show. And I'm going to end this with the last thing I want to talk about are my one-on-ones. I had the time, I had the good fortune to sit and talk with Mike, the Street Speed 717, and with Nick, Guitarmageddon, and with Troy Sowers, and spent quite a bit of time with Shane. And I tell you, those one-on-ones made the whole weekend worth it. It really doesn't matter what I think of the rest of the weekend. Those one-on-ones at the end of the show, Sunday night, 5 o'clock, the show closes, almost all the people leave, and you're there breaking it down. You can see that I was kind of in the Viper, and I showed you kind of all the cars starting up and the exhaust getting up into the lights. But for the few minutes before that, we had some real one-on-one time, and they are really fabulous people, and I think everybody wants to do some collaboration, and so I thought that was really cool. Mike and I are probably going to do a track day where we put the McLaren head-to-head against the Viper on a racetrack, not a drag strip, and see how that goes. I mean, I just think that would be an interesting day. And so we're going to talk to the track owner and see if we can't rent the track for a day or a couple hours and see if they'll allow us to do that kind of thing. Nick, Guitarmageddon Nick, actually came out and said, hey, you're the 1LE guy. I've really never been around one. I'd love to see it. Let's do a contrast and compare and maybe put the two up against each other. So our 1LE and his ZL1, the newer one, obviously not the Freedom Rocket, but put them up against each other and see how they do and see how they contrast and compare. And I think that'll be another collaboration that Nick and I are both pretty excited about. So you'll see that come out, as springtime comes available. I'm certainly willing to go to Nick, so I'll take the 1LE back up to Nick, and we'll do that wherever he wants to do it. Clearly Mike and I need a track, so he and I are both going to have to travel, probably go to Summit Point, West Virginia, maybe New Jersey Motor Park. I mean, we'll see. I don't know where exactly, but he's pretty excited about getting that done, and he and I have texted. So both Nick and I and Mike and I are texting now. We have each other's direct contact. So those things are moving forward. Troy Sowers is more involved in racing than I would have thought, and he's actually doing a professional race coming up. And so he and I are talking more about, how do I get more involved? I mean, I want to get my professional license. I'd love to be part of a professional team. And so I think you'll see some of that content start coming out of Troy. And the last thing I'll say is most of these guys have jobs. Troy has a full-time job that has nothing to do with what you see on camera. And Nick, if you watch his stuff much, you'll know he's a full-time steel worker. And I really respect that. Shane, you see him doing his job, and with me, you see a guy who built this from nothing. So this group of guys that have gotten together are pretty fun. They're all down to earth. They know they're pretty lucky. They're trying to create something. And most are trying to create it on the side while they work a job. So that was really impressive. So that was kind of that was the whole jumble of the weekend. I'm at 10 minutes, so I want to kind of shut up and get this posted. And I'll just tell you, Motorama was a great event. It ended well, but it was weird. It was weird to watch the crowd. It was weird to see what they were there for. It was weird to be in the booth all day long. But it ended well, and I'm really glad I went. I learned a lot. So guys, that's really it. Combined with yesterday's video and today's, you got a pretty good sense of in front of the camera versus behind the camera. And that's really all I wanted to accomplish in today's video. And then the last part will be, the third part will be kind of getting everything home, and what does our inventory look like now that they're all together, and what does the garage look like now that everything's in. So I'm clearly, the Demon is still coming. I don't have an actual arrival date yet. And the ZR1, we're hoping, the dealer I bought it from was Matt Beaver. Matt was at the event and I was able to talk to him. We're hoping that this Thursday it gets picked up for production, but I have no pull over that. So that's really it, you guys. Have a great Tuesday. And we will get the third part up here either later tonight or I'll do another one in the morning with what the garage looks like today. That's it, you guys. Have a great day. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.